Welcome to my home kitchen on the Irish West Coast and just a short stroll from Hazel Mountain Chocolate, my very own factory. Food is my love language, my passion, my playground. But here's the twist. I'm not just serving food, I'm trading it for stories. So make yourself at home because here, every bite comes with a story. Spring always inspires me to create something fresh, fun, and of course delicious. Today, I'm mixing things up. I'm making a dish that blends the bright, buttery flavours of Ireland and the cosy comfort of Polish cooking, goat's cheese dumplings. But first, let's head to the source, our local goat's cheese farm. Siobhan, it's so nice to be here. I've heard so much about your farm. I am so excited to be here and see the goats.
You're very welcome and a great time to come with the goats kidding and everything.
Yeah, this is your family farm. Tell me, when did you start?
So I grew up here. It was my grandparents that put the farm together. So we were born and raised here in Gupperfarna. My parents or my grandparents were never full-time farmers. They were actually full-time teachers. And I followed in their footsteps. But they always had a couple of cows that we would just milk for ourselves and a couple of donkeys called Cinzano, Bianco and Bambino. And I suppose that was one of the reasons why I gave up teaching, because I felt it was important that I'm one of 6 children, that we did something with the farm. I started here on the farm 25 years ago, but I actually took over St. Tola. It was originally made by Meg and Derek Gordon.
And did you do hard cheese and soft cheese, or did you start from soft cheese?
The soft cheese is what we mainly do. I would say it's about 90% of our production. We just make hard cheese in the summertime when we have extra milk, and we don't always have extra milk. And I'd say our expertise is in soft cheese. I think what people are surprised at when they taste it, first of all, at how light and fluffy the texture is. It's kind of like an ice cream texture. And that's because we literally make the cheese by hand. So there's very little interference with machine, because the more you cut and interfere with the curd, you break down the natural fats and the globules.
And tell me, Siobhan, was there something that you all loved when your mum used to make?
Yes, I was thinking about that recently, and there were 2 things. Griddle bread. We used to love having griddle bread. And that was actually made in the open fire. We did have an oven, but the griddle bread on the open fire was lovely, the traditional way. And Mum was and still is a great woman for apple tarts and for scones. In the summertime, she was a great woman for picnics. Mum was and still is, we're very lucky to still have both her and my dad, are great for celebrating the big occasions. Birthdays were always big. Everybody, there were cousins, aunts and uncles, and food was always a very important part of it. And I think when it was about food in our house, it was about sharing it with people.
And is there anything that you would cook now that involves your own produce, goat's cheese?
In the summertime, we do a lovely goat's cheese salad with strawberries and raspberries and with honey, just, freshly with a salad. Even just on a barbecue, even having it with grilled lamb, or having it with chicken and Parma ham. It's lovely. It's so versatile. There's lots of things to do.
It's making me hungry. I'm a sentimental cook, so with the changes of the season, I always try to find something I want to cook that I remember growing up. So I would love to make goat's cheese dumplings, and I was hoping to get your beautiful curd cheese.
Yes, so that sounds delicious. We wouldn't have grown up with dumplings, but they're kind of a thing now in Ireland, is what I would say, and that sounds delicious. So definitely we'll give you some curd if you want to come in.
Great. Yeah,
okay.
Let's go. Back to my kitchen now. Thanks so much. Before heading home, there is a place I want to stop. A small cafe run by a Canadian couple where lunch comes with a bit of a surprise. Nada.
Yes.
What possessed you to open a cafe in the middle of nowhere? in another country.
I know, it's a bit wild. I had actually never been to Ireland before moving here, so it is a bit of a big step that we took. But there was a personal connection to this location specifically. A really good friend of ours, his parents actually used to own this property as a pub and had it here for many years, and then it was shut down and vacant suddenly when COVID happened and everything was turned upside down, and all the plans that Nolan and myself had got cancelled, and we thought, what are we doing? And this was just there in the back of the mind, and we thought, what if we just call him up and say, what do you think? And then basically just one thing led to another, and here we are. I can't believe it. Do you know when you wake up from a dream and suddenly you're like, oh, the strangest thing? That's kind of what it feels like.
And how do you find your Canadian heart on Irish soil?
Oh,
you've been here for how many?
It's been 3 years living here, and the cafe's been open for just over 2.5. And we've really got our roots in now. It's a lovely, really welcoming community, so we've really settled ourselves in. And then we are giving the community a bit of our own Canadian touch. So like cinnamon buns are a thing that aren't by any means exclusively Canadian, but we certainly love them back home. My mom's recipe for the lemon bars, that's also kind of a traditional standard thing that we have. So we're introducing a lot of our culture, our Canadian culture, and also just our vast culture as people.
And is there any ingredients that would be very quintessentially Canadian that you weave into your menu?
Well, maple syrup is the one, and it comes and goes. We are really trying to showcase Irish ingredients as well. That's very important to us.
I remember the first time I came in, I stumbled upon this cafe and it was live music and lunch, and I thought it was such a great idea. Was the community vibe that you have here, was that always a plan, or it just happened?
A bit of both. So basically, because the building was an old pub, the atmosphere and the sense of community that comes with having a pub is definitely something that the building lends itself. For the trad music, people thought we were a bit crazy having morning trad sessions, and we tried them a few times, and it was just such a success because a lot of people don't necessarily want to be up late, but they still want to enjoy that culture. So we really created an art hub. So myself as an artist, that's really important to me. But also just the community has so many creative and talented people. So really kind of establish ourselves with that. All the art and craft are made by local artisans. And by local, I mean a lot of them are from Carfin and then into the Burren. Really this area is just rich with talent. We really want to showcase what the west of Ireland has to offer. And it's made well, it's handmade, it's just beautiful.
Let's make the dumplings. There's only 4 ingredients. They're so easy, so delicious. First of all, we need our goat's cheese, and I'll show you how creamy this goat's cheese is. All we need to do is add all the ingredients to a bowl. So we have our goat's cheese. Now we have some regular all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of cornstarch, and 1 egg. And now we need to mix everything really well together. So I can see the mixture is just still a little bit too sticky, so I'm going to add a little bit more flour. Once the dough creates a bowl and doesn't stick to your spoon too much, it's ready. The dough is ready. We need to sprinkle some flour onto a table surface and tip over your dough. Now, gently we're going to form 2 strips. We're going to roll the dough and try to stretch it to the side. So we need quite a long strip. Just push it with your hands and just stretch it as far as you can. So that's about 25 centimeters. And we're going to cut little dumplings out of it. The dough is actually super fluffy, really light. Doesn't stick to the knife, which is a good sign. Last step is boiling dumplings. We need a deep pot of boiling water and a little bit of salt. If the dumplings are quite sticky to touch, just add a little bit of flour and roll them in the flour. So the water needs to be simmering, make sure it's not boiling a lot. And you just throw your dumplings in one by one, very gently. Once the dumplings come up to the surface, they'll need about 10 seconds and they're ready. I'm going to stew some blueberries to go with our dumplings. So we need blueberries. I'm using frozen. And a little brown sugar. Now the final step to our dumplings is to fry them with some gorgeous Irish butter. The dumplings are smelling delicious. They're really crispy, really brown. I'm going to add just a little bit of brown sugar and just a little cinnamon. I'm going to fry them for another 2 minutes and we're done. The dumplings are ready. They smell incredible. I'm going to serve them with our blueberries. Just a little bit of blueberries. We're going to share this with some guests, but honestly, I have to take the first bite. Oh my God, they're so delicious. So you're a family?
Yes, two sisters.
How is it traveling together? Two sisters and your families, what's that like?
We travel a lot together, actually. So we have done some international travel together. We have done some local travel together. So we get to spend a lot of time together, but we love it. Yes.
And what is it like to come to Ireland?
It was totally on our list to come here. We have only heard amazing things about Ireland, and in particular the people of Ireland. And the culture that has been totally our experience thus far. Everybody has been so wonderful.
You're from?
Michigan.
Michigan, okay. How long was the flight?
About 6 hours.
When did you get in?
We got in at 6 a.m. today. Half of us have been awake for
a while.
A solid 26 hours at this point, I think.
But yeah. Chocolate will cure that,
right.
probably.
So we're here to be cured.
And tell me about food. How important was food maybe for the two of you, because you grew up in the same house?
We grew up, our mom taught in school cooking. And so we called it home economics, but she was really into, kind of fresh food and very kind of ahead of her time, always wanting to, have really fresh meat and veggies. And so we were lucky in that way. And so that we knew coming to Ireland, we were going to get a lot of really great food.
We try to find locally sourced food in the States. We love to shop locally. So I think that is part of the culture here, it seems like, and so that was interesting for us to explore when we came.
We have recipes that are less the recipe name and more like Aunt Kate's chocolate cake, right? That's the official recipe because it's recipes that we got from, different family members. And yeah, Aunt Nancy's punch is another one. It's a punch, not good for you in any way, shape, or form, but we have it on special holidays, and it's delicious, isn't it? Yeah, I know.
Sugar and
right.
More sugar, basically.
We have mac and cheese, baked mac and cheese special usually. Oh.
Grandma's cheesy potatoes.
Grandma's cheesy potatoes, yeah.
Grandma's cheesy potatoes are a winner.
Oreo cookie dessert.
Oreo cookie dessert, yeah.
Do you like cheese? I hear a lot of cheese.
We love cheese, yes.
So today we made something Irish-Polish. The Irish part is the beautiful goat's cheese from a local farm. It's in the form of a dumpling, which is a very Polish thing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here, let me get you one. We love blueberries.
It's very good. Did you try one? Not yet?
So good.
Our mom was, as she mentioned, she taught food science and home ec in school. She had grown up on a dairy farm, so we didn't eat a lot of things that were bad for us.
It was so much a joke that like we never had like sugary cereal. We would have oatmeal and we would have English muffins and things like that, that it was so much of a joke. One year for my birthday, one of her teachers that she taught with gave me a box of Frosted Flake cereal because they knew that she didn't let us have those things.
Is there anything that you're really excited about in Ireland?
I was really excited about seafood. And of course the dairy is incredible in Ireland. In the States, we like the national parks, so we're gonna try to see a couple of the national parks here.
She and I ride horses, so Ireland has the best horses in the world, so we did have to ride as long as we were here. So we're gonna go ride in Killarney National Park.
Amazing, it was great having you.
And I love to cry on sheep stand.
So they're fried, there's cinnamon and some sugar. Taste it. And it's just goat cheese in it and an egg and flour.
Lovely combination.
They're gorgeous.
Cinnamon, there's my new addition to my cheese.
Do you want to?
Thank you.